Thanks for joining us. 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. And as we begin our news here at 6 o'clock, let's get a check of the forecast. Waiting for that sun to come up, but excited for what it's going to bring.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that sun comes up, things warm up dramatically. Yeah. That's when the layers are changing.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because we do have some of the sweeping high clouds.
Yeah.
If it weren't for those clouds, we would see rapid warming and we'd be a lot warmer in terms of the numbers. So those clouds are actually kind of protecting us from us getting too warm when it comes to the afternoon. For the coastal areas, here's the deal. We're starting off pretty cool in the 40s and 50s, but we're seeing about a 20 to 30 degree spread in temperatures by the time we get to the noon hour. For the inland valleys, here's what it looks like. We'll be in the 70s this afternoon, but when you plan your outfit, pack on those layers because we are starting in the 30s and 40s this morning. But as I mentioned, it's going to shape up to be a pretty nice day with some sweeping clouds throughout the mix. All right, let's go ahead and see what's happening on your freeways. This is what it looks like on the 8 in both directions. This camera's still on night vision. This is facing east towards the mountain areas. The drive coming at your screen is westbound as folks travel towards Mission Valley. Here's what it looks like on the 78 in both directions. This is a drive coming in from Escondido. We're still in pretty good shape out of the North County. Average speeds about 65, 70 miles per hour. Coming up in about 7 minutes or so, we'll take a look at what your Wednesday travel times have in store. That's all ahead. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And now this morning, there's another big push to suspend parking fees at Balboa Park.
Yeah, the San Diego City Council president and allies are changing their tune after a noticeable decline in visitors. CBS 8's Jenny Day live at Balboa Park with reaction to this proposal, and then another one being considered here today. Good morning, Jenny.
Good morning to you both. So yes, after today, there could potentially be 5 options on the table. Keep things just the way they are right now, where everyone pays for parking, a complete repeal where no one pays, free parking on Sundays, and then potentially have it free for just San Diego residents only. And then the final option there would be to put it on the ballot and let voters decide. So the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership that represents every museum and cultural center here says just in the 3 weeks since paid parking started, there has been a dramatic decrease in visitors, a 20 to 50% decline that they say at this rate could result in a loss of $20 million a year. They say the fees are not really stopping tourists, but they are stopping locals from coming by regularly. The price for parking ranges from $2.50 to $16, depending on where you park. So because there has been tremendous backlash, some of our city leaders say they are listening and are suggesting suspending fees for San Diego residents.
Big frustrations was the little time that residents had to even get themselves up to date with the program.
So the mayor, however, says any money generated through parking will go right back into the park and that we need the revenue to help close the nearly $9 million budget deficit. He does say, however, that he is open to other ideas. Again, this topic will be on today's agenda for the San Diego City Council Rules Committee. That meeting gets underway at 9 o'clock, so we will certainly keep you posted. We are live this morning from Balboa Park. Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Jenny, thank you very much. And now in another parking development, City Council put the brakes on a proposal for Sunday residential permits near Balboa Park and in Midtown, Uptown, and Downtown. For now, that means no meter enforcement on Sundays in those areas.
This morning, the San Diego County Board of Supervisors will consider a proposal that would restrict federal law enforcement access to county facilities without a warrant.
Let's send it over now to CBS 8's Chris Groh live outside of the county admin building with details on what this ordinance would require. Chris.
Yeah, good morning, guys. And look, this is something that has already technically passed the County Board of Supervisors with a 3-to-1 vote. But today, again, it is on the consent agenda. So let's reveal here on your screen what this would do if it is indeed passed yet again. This would require that there have to be judicial warrants signed and present for federal access by agents to access non-public areas of county buildings. Think about someone applying for food stamp benefits, public defenders' offices, health clinics, etc. There also would be signs in multiple languages that allow visitors to understand their rights at these areas. County contractors, grantees, and leasees would have to enforce civil rights protections, and data privacy safeguards would be put in place as a way to prevent the misuse of sensitive information. Now, the lone no vote was Supervisor Joel Anderson, who objected to potentially spending more money out of the budget to as he says, to tell federal employees to follow the Constitution. But according to the fiscal year 2025 and 2026 budget, this year's budget, as well as the staff report, this would not cost additional money in that budget. They'll be meeting at 9 a.m. here today at the County Board of County Administration building to go over this. This is something that is expected to pass, being that there are 3 Democrats that already voted with those 3 votes last time, and only 2 Republicans that can vote no. So it is expected to pass, and if it does, this is something that would go into effect in 30 days. Back to you in studio.
All right, Chris, thanks for that. In El Cajon, some residents are demanding the city reverse course on its policy of cooperating with the federal government. This includes sharing license plate reader data, which protesters say could be used in deportation efforts.
Your license plate data is being shared with anyone, anywhere in the country. I mean, it's terrifying.
My question would be how? Who's terrorizing anybody? I mean, we're not stopping anybody for immigration. We're not asking anybody about their immigration status. In fact, ICE isn't really even in El Cajon. We've had almost no incidents of ICE being here.
Attorney General Rob Bonta is ordering El Cajon to stop sharing license plate data. A judge is scheduled to hear that case on February 13th.
This morning, county supervisors will consider new steps for the South Bay sewage crisis, and that includes a temporary pipe extension to reduce toxic emissions at a known sewage hotspot that's on Saturn Boulevard. Supervisors will also discuss unlocking county reserves for more air purifiers to help residents who are dealing with that odor.
All right, let's take a peek outside here. You see it right there on the weather bug, 50 degrees out there. So for us, it's a little chilly start, so layer it up a little bit.
And this is a fun new graphic that I just made. It's your bust off forecast.
Oh, okay.
Specifically for the inland valleys.
see it.
So here's the deal. Once we start off the day, it's going to be very cold. In fact, a drop off time around the 7, 8, 9 o'clock hour. I know it varies. For the inland spots, we'll be in the high 40s with partly cloudy skies. And then by the time we look at the drop off heading home, around 3, 4 p.m., we're looking at the mid 70s. So talk about a pretty big spread in what we're heading off to school in versus what we're heading home in. So when I say pack on those layers as you get the kids ready for school, I really mean it. All right, let's go ahead and take a live look outside. The sun's slowly starting to light up the sky. It'll fully do so in about 30 minutes or so. This is facing west towards the ocean from one of our La Jolla sky cams. We are waking up pretty brisk across the board. Not only for the inland valleys are we in the 40s, but we're also seeing 40s stretching along some of our coastal spots. It's going to be a nice day though, so the cool start will lead to a gorgeous afternoon. We're talking about mostly mid 70s across interior parts of the county. 75 in Escondido. We'll be matching that temperature out in El Cajon this afternoon. Meanwhile, mostly low 70s across those neighborhoods that hug the 15 corridor. High 60s across our beach neighborhoods. Low 60s for some of our mountain areas, 66 in Julian, and we'll be hitting a high of 75 out in Borrego Springs. Today is going to be the coolest day of the rest of the week, and temperatures are only going to rise. In fact, it's going to be so warm on Friday, we have the potential of breaking a daily max record for neighborhoods like Vista as well as Escondido. So daytime highs anywhere between 10 to 15 degrees warmer than normal by the time we wrap up January. We'll have more details on that along with the Santa Ana winds later on. All right, 6:09 is the time. Let's go ahead and switch gears and see what's happening across our freeways out of Oceanside as well as Escondido. Average speeds about 65, 70 miles per hour or so. Here's what it looks like coming in from the East County. 65, about 72 in from La Mesa as well as Santee. And we are so far so good coming in from the South Bay. Here's what it looks like on the 78 in both directions. That's coming in from Escondido as you make your way towards San Marcos. And here's another look. I mean, just look at that cloud deck overhanging over ahead of the East County. And I assure you, the sunrise is going to be quite a sight to see. This is coming in from College, and they haven't even switched it off night vision yet, but they should do so in the next 10 minutes or so. 10 to 15 headed northbound in from San Ysidro as well as National City. If you're traveling in from the East County, about 5 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. Here's what it looks like shooting south in from the North County. Still average speeds about 12 to under 30 in from Encinitas. All right, 6:10 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times. About an hour 25 inbound from San Ysidro's port of entry this morning, and about an hour 20 going across from Otay Mesa's port of entry.